You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of The Wave Live, featuring an interview with the artist Brittnye B. You can hear The Wave live Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on the internet radio station Yessurr FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network.
Run in, mother. Hold up.
Bend it up, make you wiggle, do that dance. Now you official.
Let go.
Bend it up, make you wiggle, do that dance. Now you official. Bend it up, make you wiggle, do that dance. Now you official. Bend it up, make you wiggle.
Hey, this is K. Rose, Program Director for Yessurr FM, a member of the Get Global Network, and you are listening to the Wave Live interview series with our guest tonight, a young lady that I initially thought was actually born and raised in Dallas, but I have been corrected on that. We are interviewing today Brittnye B. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, and how are you?
I'm doing well. I have seen and seen a lot of your music that we have played on the station. Mm-hmm. And we at Yessurr FM play a lot of music from artists in the Dallas area. I don't call anybody that is from Dallas local. I call them independent. I call them undiscovered in a lot of cases. But there is a stigma that gets attached to people when you say they're a local artist that I don't like. I like to, if you're out there at one time, go down the list, whether it was Beyonce, whether it was anybody, Angie Stone, whether it was Jill Scott, go on hip hop side. It could be anybody. They were local until somebody basically discovered them, until the world knew who they were. Some people need to remain unknown. Because of levels of talent, things like that, and I say it because it's true. Too many people think they can get out and be entertainers. I have a classification. It's a difference to me between someone that is a MC, which is a master of ceremonies, which is someone that writes and can perform, as opposed to somebody that can rap. Because Puffy can rap, but he can't write.
Yeah. True.
And so what we do on the station, we go to great lengths to market and to promote the independent artists from the Dallas, Texas area and other artists around the country. And we play major music also. But the main thing that we do, we make sure that the music we play on the station is mixed, mastered, and it'll basically line up with technically the music that you're going to hear from major artists, because that's the only difference there is to me. And as we've played your music, we have found that to be the case. I like your music. I like what you do.
Thank you.
I like your style. And one thing I want to make sure that we touch on as we start the interview is, how did you get started in the business, as far as the real business? I know a lot of people, there are two sides. Some people start off by just being around friends and doing some things, but the actual business side of it, how did you start off in the music business?
Well, like you said, I started off on the other side, just around like friends and different people that were doing music, and I've always been interested in writing, so I used to do poetry a whole lot, so I've always been interested in the writing side of it. And as I kept going to the studio and, just hanging around and being influenced by them, I started using the poetry and putting it on beats that the producer was making. And like after I let people hear me like saying the poetry to the beats, they were like, oh, you can turn that into a song. So after enough people kept telling me I was like, well, I'm just, I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a try. It can never hurt to fail. You put all your effort into it. So I tested it out. I fell in love with it. And it went from something that I just enjoyed doing as a hobby to something that I wanted to try to, take a chance at and actually make it into a career or make it into something that I can grow. So it was just more of being influenced from a love of poetry and turning it into a love for music, because I've always, loved the two, and it's just kind of meshed them together.
And how long have you been writing poetry?
Since I was little. It's something that I got from my mom. She used to keep a poetry journal when I was little. So I started at a young age, probably as far as back like 8 or 9. I used to have poems that got published when I was in elementary. So I've been writing poetry for years, and it's still something that I love to this day. I probably write more songs than I actually go in the studio and record, because it's like I can hear a beat and I'll automatically start writing to it, whether I choose to, turn it into a song that I'm going to promote or use or not. It's just the love for writing that got me really interested into it.
And so you just said that you had some poems published. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. When I was younger, I used to enter poetry contests through the school, and it actually got picked up by some books that only feature children from different schools, and they actually got published in books. So, and that was elementary school. So yeah, it's something I've been working on a long time. It's something I really enjoy doing.
And is that something you feel you may have picked up as a skill set, or something that may have been passed down to you from your mother's side of the family?
I would think so, because I don't think I'd have been as interested in it if I hadn't seen her interested in it. And she was really good with it, and she used to write love poetry all the time. And that's why I always say if I could sing, if I could really sing, I would want to be an R&B singer, because I write a lot of slow songs, and I write them for other people to use. Even though I do the rapping stuff, it's like I still write that part, and I think that was heavily influenced by her. But I can use that same writing skill that I do with the poetry and still flip it into content that I would use, as far as songs that I would use for myself when rapping.
Okay, and it's interesting that you are a poet, because as I have listened to, just that we have a couple of songs that we play on the station. Mm-hmm. And so first question along those lines is, the songs we're playing, mm-hmm. One of them is Motorboat, the other one is Hercules. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I didn't, and not necessarily from your writing, but I didn't mm-hmm. get the poetic side of you from mm-hmm. those songs.
Oh, no, I completely understand, because I guess what that was influenced by are those types of songs. It was more of a marketing strategy brought to me, by other parties of my team. We wanted to try to pick a certain lane that was not really currently occupied by a female artist, okay. And we wanted to try to brand me as that artist. We were trying to make me the queen of the club, per se. I didn't want to do the queen of twerk, but I wanted to do more like the queen of the club. So if there was a twerk song or a dance song that you would hear in the club, or you needed some club music for girls to get up and dance, you would think of something that I've made, kind of like the Beat King, and that's how I ended up linking up with him. After Twerk 101, mm-hmm. I kind of began to get branded like that by DJs, and they would reach out to me and they'd be like, "Oh, I need a hot twerk song for the club," or, when are you going to put out some more twerk music? So I have other songs that you may not have access to or didn't get as much attention that show the more lyrical side, but it's because it's what majority of DJs have grasped to are those songs that they can run in the club that'll, get DJs to dance. And that's another thing that I'm, working on too, trying to mix up the image where it's just not all, songs like Hercules or Motorboat, even though I enjoy doing those because I like to dance and I like to go out and have fun too. But it's kind of like I want to show both sides.
Right. And as I go through again, you're listening to the Wave Live interview with Brittnye B. How does Brittnye B's poetic mom think, or what does she think about those songs, the Hercules and the Motorboat songs?
Well, to be honest, she heard Work 101.
Mm-hmm.
It was being played on 92.3 out there in Little Rock. And, some other people were bringing it to her attention. So she heard that one. And, she knows that I have my own way of viewing things, or I have my own creative process. And being that I'm grown, she encourages me to push outside of it, but she also understands it from a marketing perspective, I guess, because I break it down and explain to her, I have this game plan, or this is what we're doing. Even though she may not fully agree with it, she wants me to do the best at whatever I choose. And believe me, if she finds something wrong or that needs to be corrected, she has no problem voicing it. So
that's what I was thinking. It's not that it was something where, because I've listened to the songs, and it's not like you're really just way out of line at all. It's not even close to that.
Yeah.
But it's the imagery, and for me, I understand fully that this is a area that you have decided to occupy for a business reason. And that to me impresses me more than if someone says, well, that's the only music I know how to do, or that's the only song I can write, or that's just what I like. Well, you're approaching it from a business standpoint, and that's really important, because a lot of people that are in this quote business, people don't understand how it works. They don't understand the mechanism, and they don't even make an attempt to put a plan together. And so as you have been in this business for a few years, what are you going to consider success to be for you in the music business?
Well, I guess I'm my biggest critic. So that for me is I guess I'm learning now that there are different levels of success, because I have people around me that are telling me, oh, when I do songs with like Little Ronnie or Beat King, they're like, oh, those are the biggest artists in Texas, and they're working with you. And even in the Beat King case, he reached out to me to help me, try to help me, get to a different level as an artist. So they're saying that, you should feel successful. You reach levels that there are artists that have been doing this for, years or almost a decade that haven't. But my true level of success is I want to be on a level where I'm, booking multiple shows, almost, every night of the week, or, I have that larger fan base, or it's just, and I wouldn't even say like getting to like superstar status, because it's just that I want to reach a certain level, I guess, that I have set in my head, where it doesn't feel like just something that I'm doing and then I have a little support. It's like I want it to be, I guess, it's on a bigger level. And I really don't know how to explain it, but it's just like I feel like I've reached some levels of success, but I just haven't reached to where I want to go.
Okay. Okay. No, and I understand that you want to, you don't necessarily have to be, as you mentioned, a superstar, but you do want to be successful at it. You want to be touring. You want to have people know your songs. And as you mentioned, that you have been, you've basically done some songs with some of the people that are well known in the Dallas, Texas area. And the people that listen to Yessurr FM, we do have listeners in Dallas, Texas, but a wide range of our listeners are in other cities in the United States and really around the world. We have listeners in countries pretty much around the world. Anybody that listens to hip-hop has probably run across the station at some time. And again, because of the internet, and the internet gives you the ability to touch everyone you want to touch that has the access to the internet. And so as you're out there and you have performed and you have done songs with two of the, or not just two, but several people in the Dallas area, that have been in the business and have been known. Who, if you could work with anyone else, who would you want to work with? And that could be on any level, whether you're writing for them or whether you are recording a song with them. Who would you want to work with in the industry, and why would you want to work with that person?
Well, Twista for one, just because he's always been a longtime favorite. I just like his wordplay and his delivery, so I've always been a fan. Drake, of course, right now, just because I look at what he's accomplished and how he basically can release anything and it just is instantaneously a hit almost. Like, I kind of look at that and I'm just amazed by it. So, and even if not work with him, I'd be interested in seeing his process. I'm trying to think who else. Missy Elliott as a female, just because as younger I used to be in love with her as a female artist. So, and I'm trying to think who else. That's all I can think of just off of the top of my head right now. Those are like the three people. Like Twista and Missy have always been two that I have kind of idolized, and then Drake is just amazing to me. I guess the response that he gets from people, and he has a lot of talent as far as writing. Even if they say he doesn't, might necessarily not write his stuff, but I actually don't think it's the case where he doesn't write everything, even if he does get assistance. So, but I'm just kind of like, I guess a fan just to see I would like to see the inner process of how, it all goes into play. So those would be the three that I can think of.
Okay. No, and those are really Twista, the first one. I get this question answered by people as we do interviews, and I'm always surprised by the responses that I get. Because Drake is not necessarily a every interview answer, but it's something because he is just such a big legendary member of the industry right now. And so I see that a lot. Missy, I've had Missy as an answer before. Twista, you are the first Twista.
Really?
Interview answer, and so, but that's good because I think I mean he does have a way of doing things. He does have a style, and now that I think about the music I've heard from you, I can see that as part of the makeup of the the direction that you're going in. But as you mentioned, as a young lady, a female in this industry, that by itself has changed within the last really 15 years that I've been tracking the industry and been involved in it. It has changed for the better for young ladies and females that are in the industry. But what do you think female artists need to do to succeed in the music industry? What one or two pieces of advice would you give to other female artists that may be, or young people even in their teenage years that are thinking about trying to become part of this industry?
I would say try to perfect your talent. And by that I mean practice writing, practice delivery, like actually show that you have talent so it won't be based upon just how you look or and it's still an issue, being a female in a male-dominated industry. It's still going to be based on how you look some of the time, but it's like if you have a talent and if you really have skills, because even some of the bigger artists in Texas have told me, they were like, you can make a good song and it won't get played as a female artist. You have to be amazing. And even though, I sat there and I thought about it when they were saying it, and I was like, well, that's not fair, but you have to think that life isn't fair. But it's also true because there are a lot of different females that, say that they're artists or say that they're rappers, but they're also dancers and, do other stuff too. And not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but it's basically given DJs, and it's giving people in the industry an ideal that, oh, they're only doing this because they're trying to get the attention off of it, or they're trying to get to that Nicki Minaj status, and by having a fake body, or, you know, doing all of the other stuff, but they're not taking the time to actually sit down and try to write, or sit down and try to perfect the craft. It's more of just I don't want to say gimmick, but it's more of just a way to get to another level of fame. It's not really, I don't consider it really a love for what they're doing. So if I had to give anybody advice, and I'm working with a younger artist, she's a teenager, she's interested, and I tell her all the time, you know, she comes over to record, and I have her do it over and over and over again until her delivery is right. Or I have her write it instead of, she wants me to write it, and I'm like, no, you need to write your own material, because you don't want to ever get to a position where you have to solely depend on someone else to write for you. Because I don't really think that you can truly call yourself an artist if you can't write your own material, at least some of the time.
Right. So. And people don't think of it that way. I believe some artists, again, think they really are better writers than they are. Yeah. And the first part of that is that they have people around them that don't tell them the truth, or those people may not even be able to dissect what they're writing and actually be able to tell them that it's really not as good as they think it is.
Yeah.
And so it is good that, you know, the person that you're working with, and the advice you're also giving to the listeners is to be prolific, you know, write all the time, learn how to write. And because anything that you put effort into to practice and to learn, you should become better at.
Better, yeah.
And there are those that are listening, and there are people that hear the wave, and they hear me talk about this many times. There are a lot of people that should not be artists, and there are people, sometimes you need to pick your lane, and you may not be a great performer, but you may be able to write for people. And put them in a position to where, and writers make a lot of money.
They do.
And that's another thing that you do. You're able to write songs for, you know, R&B artists, etc. That's lucrative to be a songwriter.
Yes.
And so for you, if you could change one thing about your career so far, what would you change, and why would you change that?
Well, I probably would change one. I would have started sooner. I wish I would have realized my love for music sooner, because I really just kind of started, like, taking it seriously as far as trying to make it into something more than a hobby. Like, within the past couple of years, Twerk 101 was the one with B-Hamp. That was the first actual single that we actually put out and invested in, which it did good. So, but I feel like if I had started sooner, I would be in a better place. And I guess that would be the biggest one. Just starting to do it sooner. But, you know, I took the time out. I went to college or whatever, graduated college. So in one way, I kind of feel like I have my backup plan, you know, if music fails, which, you know, I don't hope that's the case, but I always think it's good to have a backup plan. So in one way, I look at it positively on that note, but on the other way, I feel like if I had started with this sooner, you know, I could have more time invested into it. I could be further along. So I guess that would have to be the one thing I wish I could go back and kind of change, kind of get involved in it at an earlier age. Okay,
and that's fair enough. And I have had that response before, but I tell everyone there's a time and place really for everything. And and in my opinion, where you are, and that you meaning you or anyone or myself, where you are is where you're supposed to be. And even though we wish, well, man, if I had only started this job 5 years ago, I would be here. Well, we were supposed to start when we started, because we were supposed to get the knowledge or the experience that we achieved. And so it makes it better. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. And as we go into this break, we are going to play the song that we started playing from you first, which is Twerk 101. So I want you to go ahead and just basically tell everyone a little bit about that song, and then announce that song, and we'll go into break.
Okay, great. Well, Twerk 101, as I mentioned, was my first official release. I think it came out, what was that, end of 2014 or early 2015. It features B Hamp. Y'all may know him from Due to Ricky Bobby. We're both out of Arlington, out in Texas, so we linked up and did that as my first single. So now, Yessurr FM is going to bring y'all the old single from me, Brittnye B, featuring B Hamp, Twerk 101.
Hold up. Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Show them hoes how to twerk. 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 Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Show them hoes how to twerk. 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 Left leg and back it, right leg how to twerk. Show them hoes how to twerk. Show them hoes how to twerk. I can show these hoes how to twerk. Watch me throw that ass in reverse. I can erect your nigga drink in one hand holding my purse. Man, this twerk shit is like work. But these niggas going berserk, cause they ass like da-da. Damn, got your nigga dying of thirst. Put one leg up and I pop it. Look back then I drop it. I can do it on your dick, but nigga, that's another topic. Drop down, I can do it on the split. I'm grade A, I'm the best you can get. Got your nigga wanna switch, cause you can't do them like this. Show them hoes how to twerk. 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 Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Show them hoes how to twerk. 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 Show them hoes how to twerk.
A nigga be motorboating that booty. She like, she say motorboat all on my coochie. I say nah, chill, for real. That was just a joke. She said no, she go hard. When she twerk it, that shit be dope. I'm like get it, girl, don't stop moving. I'm like, the way she do it, make it be a movie. Cause that girl there be a freak, and that girl there be a freak. If she my money, she ain't worried about other hoes. She gon' twerk it all to that beat. She gon'
show them hoes how to twerk. 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 Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Left leg and back it, right leg and back it up. Show them hoes how to twerk. 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 Left hoes how to twerk it, right leg how to twerk it up. Show them hoes how to twerk it, right leg and back it up. Show them hoes how to twerk.
Hey, this is K Rose, Program Director, Show Metro Radio, and you are listening to the Wave Live interview with Brittnye B, young lady born in Arlington. Man, I messed that up, and I'm sitting here and I wrote it down. No, a young lady that was born in Arkansas. Moved to Arlington, now part of the Dallas, Texas DFW music scene that is bursting out. I'll be serious about that. We have had some artists in different genres win Grammys within the last few months. Artists that are blowing up out of Dallas, out of Fort Worth, and it's time for the hip hop side to kick in with artists like Brittnye B. And Brittnye, I have a niece, and her name is Brittnye. There is this age group of young ladies on Earth that got named Brittnye.
Yes.
And you guys are all in that same age range, because my niece is about your age also, I think. But your name is not spelled like some of the other Brittnys that I have seen.
With the NYE, yeah.
Right. And so was that a mom poetic license thing, or is that really the way it should be spelled?
No, it's actually spelled Ney. I changed it for music purposes to so it wouldn't pull up all those other Brittnys when it's searched for. But it's still when people search for it, they still end up spelling it Ney. So I have to put those in as different tags. But I just wanted to differentiate because it's so many Brittnys, like you said. I just wanted to give it a different spelling to kind of make it stand out more.
No, and it does, and I'm glad that I asked you that, because I made the same mistake. You know how you're typing something and you don't look at it. I was typing your Twitter page a few weeks ago, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not working. And I know she's been retweeting, and I know we've communicated, and I'm like, wow, okay, she's got, her name is spelled uniquely, and I don't consider it to be wrong. You spelled it uniquely, and that's the way you're planning for success. You're planning to be a person in this industry that is set apart from other people, because there is another Brittnye that we play on the station, and I think she may be out of Houston or Atlanta. And, there are that name, like I said, it's a name that several people, and I'm not even sure, I'll have to ask my sister why she named her daughter Brittnye. But that name was just big for a while. It was a big name. But as you look back on your life as a youngster, a young person, what was the earliest memory, what was the earliest memory that you have of performing in front of an audience? And that can be in front of your family, your friends, school, whatever. It's just the first audience, What's the first time in your memory that you can remember?
I have to say elementary. I used to be in choir in elementary, and I performed at like a talent show with one of my best friends, who's actually she sings country in Memphis now. So that was one of the earliest, and I was actually in the church choir with my mom and sister as an elementary also, and used to perform on Sundays. So those would be two of the earliest. I've always been involved with choir or some type of music class or something like that throughout school ever since I can remember. So those would be the earliest memories of performing that I can think of. I'm really trying to think back. I think those are the earliest memories. I really think.
And I ask people that because for some people it just popped right up. Hey, I was at my aunt and uncle, or we was at a family reunion, and I got up and I had a brush, and I played like I was singing this and that. And then some people, because it's not something that triggered until later in their life, some people don't think about it because they were probably performing, but they just didn't even think about it when they were young. And so as we go forward, again, you're listening to the Wave Live interview with Brittnye B. Who inspires you, Brittnye, to continue to work toward building your career?
I guess a lot of my inspiration is just based upon myself. I've always been like a goal-oriented type of person. I set in my mind that I want to do something, and I kind of get into a work pattern where it's like my goal to achieve it. I'm not a quitter or someone that likes to give up on a goal. So I try to put my all into it, as much effort. And of course, I have my family, my mom, my people that I work with in regards to music, my producer, DJ Hold Up. I've been working with him ever since I started. So he gives me inspiration, and he always, sends beats or sends music and be like, hey, if you want to write to this. So, and just different people, but I'm really goal oriented. So if I put it into my mind, if it's something that I want to accomplish, then I don't mind putting in the work and the effort to get there. So I keep myself motivated by that. I look at the end goal that I'm trying to achieve, and I'm willing to take the steps to work to get there.
And that's something that people really need to understand about true artists, people that consider it to be a career. In most cases, this isn't just something where you just hang out with your friends and you happen to be in the studio and they said, okay, and that's how you write. You have to sit there and, you can't write without somebody else writing, or you have to always have somebody on your tracks. It's a lot of things people misunderstand about this industry. And people that are like yourself who have decided to make this a career, because that's how you apply it to, it sounds like, just your everyday life. Okay. And so people that are listening to this interview understand she is investing time, a lot of time, I'm sure, in her career. This is not just a joke thing to record and drop it in the CD player, if they even have those anymore in cars. But this is something that she considers to be something she wants to make, first of all, enjoy, and then make money from.
Yeah.
And so as you look at how you've been building your career, what has been your most memorable performance, and what made it such a standout? And that any kind of performance, if it was on stage or if you were in front of just a small group, what's your most memorable performance?
I did a show in Texarkana with Little Ronnie. He was performing. They had booked him for Circle, and then they ended up booking me also. And it was just, I went on first because at that time he had the super popular song with Throw That Ass in the Circle. So I performed first, and I was thinking, how am I gonna get the crowd's response to me, which I knew I had radio playing out there, so I knew that they were familiar. But it's like comparing to someone that is Beyonce is dancing to. So I was a little bit nervous, and I went up there and I had my dancers or whatever, and I was just like, we prayed before we went out, and we're like, we're just gonna go out there and we're gonna put on a good show. So we went out, and it was like a really amazing show. It was like girls were coming out of the audience to dance on stage. It was like people were everywhere with cameras, and there was like 800 plus people in the crowd. So I was just truly, I guess, proud with how the performance turned out. And I was doubting myself when I started, just because I was comparing it to someone else's level of success. And it really put me in a place where I felt like you can't judge your success or how stuff is going to be with you based upon what you see someone else is doing. You just have to always kind of give it your best effort and make your shows the best. And it turned out amazing. And they actually ended up inviting me back to do some other events out there. So that would probably be my most memorable one, and probably, one of the larger ones that I've had, because like I mentioned, that one was, 800 plus people. So it was just a really great performance.
And was that last year in 2015?
Yeah, I think that was in 2015,
Okay. And that's why people also, it's the Wave interview series. It's the Wave Live interview with Brittnye B. And she introduced, and those that are listening to the show heard Twerk 101. And that actually was that a B Hamp song? That was your song that you had B Hamp on, right?
Yeah, that was my song.
Exactly.
Everyone at first thought it was his song, and they were like, "B Hamp's new single, Twerk 101." But yeah, it was actually my song, and I reached out to him about doing a verse on it. So.
Okay, and so we definitely, as we began the show, we came in with Motorboat because we play that on Yessurr FM also, as well as Twerk 101. And then we're going to end the show with the newest song that you have, Hercules, and we'll have you drop that out and introduce that to everyone. But the last question for the interview is, when you jump in your car right now, okay, or if you're on your cell phone and you're listening to music, if you jump in your car and you push play, what artist would we hear first?
Well, I listen to myself a lot to critique myself. So if you jump in my car, you probably would hear me. This new stuff that I'm working on, just to try to listen to it, get a different perspective of it, of hearing it in the car, hearing it how it would sound if someone is listening to it and riding around. And I got that from my producer. He used to do that when he was, doing the mixing and mastering or whatever. And I just took it upon myself to start doing it, to listen to my delivery, to make sure it was where I wanted it to be. But when I listen to other artists, I listen to local stuff, or should I say, other independent artists that are around the Dallas area. So Little Ronnie, listen to Big King, the new Club Got 5 that he just dropped. I just got it. And I also try to listen to what's trending right now. So like OT Genesis, new song, I listen to that, and Future, Drake, of course, and that's just to keep up with, what's trending, what's popular in music, so I can always try to stay on top of what I need to be, what I need to be doing. Not saying I want to make stuff like them, but just trying to see, what's popular or what's going on in music, so you can try to stay as up to date as possible. So I guess besides, local stuff or independent artists around here, it would be those three.
Okay, and no, that's very good, because again, you are an artist that is working to build a career. This interview has been it's enlightening for me, because I had not had the opportunity to talk to you before. So for that, I really appreciate it, and thank you. And
thank you.
I think that I've learned a lot today about you as an artist, and I think that you are going to be successful. I think you are going to have your level of success, and you will define that. And I think I'm looking forward to new music from you, and new things on the horizon from you. And then when you perform in Dallas the next time, I'm making sure that I come out so I can check it out and check out the stage, the live performance aspect of Brittnye B. But tell everyone how they can connect to you online and through any kind of social media.
Well, you can, let's see, I'm on Twitter. It's Brittnye B, and that's ITSBRITTNYE. And then I have Instagram. It's Brittnye_B. Brittnye spelled the same way, NYE_B. And then Snapchat, it's the same as my Twitter. It's Brittnye B. So, and those are the three that I mainly use. So by all means, feel free to add me or follow me. I follow back. And make sure you check out the music that's already out, and we have new music coming that we're working on. So I'd love to hear feedback, as always, hear what y'all think of it. And to you, I appreciate you interviewing me and appreciate the support. I always try to show it back by retweeting and helping promote the station. So I really do appreciate it. As an independent artist, support is always needed. So I really do appreciate you interviewing me and supporting the music.
No problem. And again, everyone, I appreciate everyone that listens into the station. We've got several new interviews that'll be coming out on the Wave Live interview series. And again, that's going to be on every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time here in the U.S. And we replay that same interview, and we'll be replaying the interview that you're hearing now with Brittnye B. Again, we replay on Wednesday nights at 11 p.m. Central Time, 12 a.m. Eastern. And all of this is on Yessurr FM, and we are part of the Get Global Network. Again, we appreciate you, Brittnye, for being on. And
Thank you.
We're going to go out with your newest single that we have access to. And so everyone enjoy Brittnye B's single Hercules, and we'll be back next week with a new interview on the Wave Live.
Hey, it's Brittnye B.
Hold up.
Let me see that
Hold up.
ass. Let me see that
Hold up.
ass. Let me see that ass. Let me
Good,
see
good,
that ass. Clap, Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Let me see that ass. Clap, Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Let me see that ass. Clap.
You got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up.
Make it clap. Then I throw it back. Be straight flexing on these toes. Hercules and then I dap. Water wet and talking tap. Go ahead, get it, thing to smack. And the way I make it clap. Got him tricking all his cash. Got a thing round, make it look like a swivel. Wrapped up and down, make it look like a dribble. He ain't say, but I swear he committal. Shut like a piece of that thing can be nibble. Yeah, wait. Let me slow it down. Make it clap. Go, throw that thing round. One leg up and then I pop. Two hands up and then I drop. Make it hate, it can't be stopped. Game too cold, it won't be blocked. Hands on your knees, touch your knees. No, make it rain, please do it like a G. Cut them out quick, I ain't tucking it for tea. Hands on your knees, touch your knees, touch your knees. Clap, Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Let me see that ass. Clap, Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Let me see that ass. Clap.
If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up, let me see it, Hercules. Pop that pussy, don't hurt your knees. I ain't throwing cash until you butt naked, twerk for me. Hold up, I'm at Club Bonics and I need 5,001s. I'ma throw that money up, I keep it trill like my nigga Bun. Head down, ass up, I don't wanna see your face. I just wanna see them tattoos on your ass and on your waist. Hold up, throw that ass back, make them lame bitches hate. She so bad, bitches look whether if they gay or they straight. Hold up, climb that pole, let it go, hit that split on the floor. Niggas tryna say these strippers, tell them let her go. Damn, she don't want the conversation, she just wants the paper. I'm getting money, fuck a hater. If you got some good pussy, then clap.
Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Let me see that ass. Clap. Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Hercules, spin it over. Let me see that ass. Clap.
If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. If you got some good pussy, then clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up.
Hercules.
You have been listening to the Get Global Network podcast of the Wave Live, featuring an interview with the artist Brittnye B. You can hear the Wave Live Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Yessurr FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network. Listen to Yessurr FM by installing any of the Get Global Network apps like Grassroots Salute or So Metro Magazine for your cell phone. The apps are available for download on both Google Play and iTunes app stores.